delicious for snacking and cobbler inspiring, an awesome treat, impossible to beat. Into my gallon bucket of tin, I dropped firm, sweet berries in. For nearly an hour I did not quit. When the fruit crested at the bucket's top, and a single new berry could not be fit, I knew it was time to stop. As I ceased berry picking, I heard behind me something swishing. I did not know if it were friend or rake, so I made a turn to see what the cause could possibly be. That's when I saw this big old snake slithering in a narrow path and heading straight for me. I quickly grabbed my blackberry bucket and with great force I launched it. With the perfection of a magical trick, it landed on the snake's flat head, and I finished the job with a handy stick. Though I was very saddened to see the agile reptile lying dead, I did not regret the dirty deed. Sir Snake was certainly a sneaky foe, and it was him or me that had to go. Berries were strewn here and there, scattered practically everywhere. But spilled berries was not my worry. I left God's country in a hurry. I was finished picking for the day, stomping on berries along the way. And that's 2 poems, that's a poem and a half from the first section. The second section of the book looks more at my adult life, where I had to learn a lot of lessons that were not exactly good to learn, but necessary to learn. Evil is a real force in the world. Also, people who do not grow, who do not learn from their situations and move on. That's what the next poem from section 2 is about. It's called House by the Railroad Track. I was inspired by a picture of a house that had been neglected, and people had moved away, and the world really had moved away, and there it stood crumbling by the railroad track. House by the railroad track. The house by the railroad track sulks like a jilted woman, a Miss Havisham, abandoned by a lover, who long ago tended her with loving care, decorated her walls with patterned paper, cooked meals upon her glowing hearth, pumped laughter throughout her many chambers. Halcyon days of butterflies and rhymes are now faint in her memory and breathlessly fallen into oblivion. She barely recalls the taunting beauty of nature. Once upon her ample lawns spread stout oaks and gay perennials. They blossomed in spring, burgeoned in summer, shed grandeur in fall, and stood bare in winter under the weight of snow. Now all vestiges of that beauty, once conceived as eternal, is overpowered by the sootiness of coal, which drives the future. Nevertheless, she will not plead for mercy. She is anchored to that bleak place beside the railroad track. She stares with hope forlorn through lintel windows, overdone, overdressed, overly ornate. She reviles the fickle hand that deserted her in quest of Art Nouveau, a modern mansion seductive with long lines of urgency. Still, she is too proud to crumble, too stubborn to fall upon the steel tracks of progress. She will not acknowledge the sleek silver train forged by an industrial revolution, passing her by without a single salute. And that's a person who's stuck. Now, I'll read one more poem. Well, This poem my husband had an issue with. He said, now, you send that poem out there, and they're gonna, think it's true. It's about an unfaithful man. And it's called Hands. And it's called He Don't Want to Do Right if it means living without the hands. At the end of his workday, he wants, needs, and receives delicate hands, thinly veiled, long tapering fingers, smooth pink nails, finely patterned palms with long lifelines. These hands caress, arouse, and excite. They are expert in erotic pleasure. They are eager manipulators for treasure. They take more than they give. Sated and empty-handed, he leaves his palace of pleasure. Guilty and ashamed, but outwardly bold, he goes home. Hands at the kitchen stove stir his dinner. They are worn hands, heavily veined, short, stubby fingers, splintered, uneven nails, wrinkled palms with long lifelines. These hands are roughened by detergents, scouring powders, and polishes. They are thickened by hard labor and osteoarthritis. They are gnarled by worry and neglect. These hands no longer pleasure, they accuse. Now, just one more poem, because I had to write this one for my husband, who said, this is going to be something that is going to get out there and I will look like a scoundrel. I've been married for 50 years. We celebrated our 50th wedding anniversary in September. Well, a few weeks ago, we took a cruise to Bermuda. And this is the last one I'll read, so I hope I'll be able to finish. At the breakfast table, I call it. Sitting at the breakfast table, looking through 3 double-paned windows, we two, wife and spouse, bask in the wonder of spring. 50 years of our 70 on earth, we have been a couple, never taking for granted the miracle of spring, full sun and April showers, transforming winter's wasteland and our quadrant of the planet teeming with new life. This morning, a majestic bluebird carrying a bit of twig in its beak dances upon our deck for at least 30 minutes. We suppose he is enjoying the pristine breaking of the day as old Sol Invictus stretches out his arms and sends down to earth golden shafts of sun, starburst-like. Sunbeams decorate